Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's CX Quick Tips. I have with me my good friend and contributor to CX Global Media, Shep Hyken with me. Shep, welcome.
Hey, man, great to be here. You look very nice today.
Man, I'll tell you, I appreciate that. I tried my best. I even got a shower together just for you.
I'd tell you I could smell you, but that would be a lie.
Okay, so we're sitting here. It is March 30th. Yes, we date these because we're talking about relevancy. We're talking about now, and we're only talking for 10 minutes. So, Shep, today we're going to talk about how to get customers coming back again and again. And this is part of a new book that you have written, which we can go into details as far as how people can get it. And we'll even put a link to the show notes on this on the website on CX Global Media. We'll do that. But really what you're talking about is how to build a business that can thrive during the good times and the bad. So
Right.
if you could walk us through a little bit of the system that you have laid out in this book.
Sure. First of all, I'm going to tell you how you remember the title of the book. What are the three famous words that the great philosopher Arnold Schwarzenegger used in The Terminator?
I'll be back.
That's right. The book is titled "I'll Be Back: How to Get Your Customers to Come Back Again and Again." And it doesn't matter whether it's good times or bad. There are certain principles and ideas that have to be used. And one of the most powerful ideas is simply this. I call it the loyalty question. And we talk about the difference between repeat customers and loyal customers, which, by the way, repeat customers are gold. Loyal customers, they're sacred. And here is the first nugget, and that is the loyalty question. What am I doing right now, at this moment, interacting with my customer, guest, patient, member, whatever you want to call them? Okay, what am I doing to make sure they come back the next time? And I'm not focused on a lifetime. I'm just focused on the very next time. So when any of the people listening are thinking about, oh gosh, what do I need to do to create a lifetime loyal customer? Get that out of your head. All you're trying to do is get next time to happen. And when you start thinking about it in smaller little chunks, such as just the next time, it becomes the next time every time, which becomes ideally a lifetime. So that's the loyalty question. What am I doing right now? In the times that we've had, stressful times of COVID, there's been certain, ways of behavior that we exhibit that need to be modified and changed. We had to show more empathy than ever before because so many people were struggling. They were having difficult times. Some were out of work. Some were working from home when they used to working in an office. Our customers were going through more chaos than they've ever been in their entire lives. Well, guess what? So were we. But that's not the customer's problem, is it? No, but recognizing what the customers go through. And I think if there was a word to describe 2020, it would be empathy. And I actually just, and it's not out yet, it'll be out tomorrow, actually, my newsletter, where my weekly newsletter and blog that I write, I have a cartoon, and the cartoon is a guy in the fire truck is sticking his head out the window, and the wind is blowing, his tongue is hanging out. Right behind him is the Dalmatian with his head out the window. And the fire truck, the guy driving it is thinking, wow, now I know what it's like to be a dog on a fire truck, with the wind blowing. And the caption is something like, sometimes we just have to really experience what our customers are going through to really understand what it is. And that's about empathy. So anyway, I think that's the answer to your question.
Well, you actually laid out a very good 6-step system. You called it in the book, 6-step system. And we'll even put a link to that because in your chapter 15, you did a nice video that kind of wrapped it all together. And so for me, what I like about you, Shep, is that you give us very practical advice that becomes provocative. You're a master at that.
Well, thank you. I try to make the complicated simple.
That's another way of putting it. But I think for you, so like, for example, your step 1, you talk about asking a couple questions. And it seems quite simple, but then when you talk about it and explain it, you're like, oh, it has that twist, that's provocative twist, and it becomes quite compelling.
Yeah, it's a simple question. So I'll take you through the 6 steps really fast because I know we're on short time. Number 1 is you ask yourself the question, why should someone do business with me? And the typical answer is, oh, we've got great service. Well, you don't think your competitors saying that? Of course they are. I want to know the uniqueness of what you're doing and that makes you different. So, for example, we can go a step further. Maybe you're a medical center that has a piece of heart monitor equipment that there's maybe only 10 in the whole country. Well, if I got a heart attack, I want to go to your hospital, not the competition, right? And I know that's kind of a unique experience where there's only 10 in the world, but what is it that you really do that's different? And if you don't do anything different, I'm okay with that, but you need to know that, because you're kind of stuck in a commodity trap if there's nothing different. And if you know you're in a commodity trap, then you need to sell and market and service a different way. So number one, I'm going to go through it much quicker. You asked that question. Number two, and I say, don't compare yourself to the competition, but in this process, you should compare yourself. You ask it a little differently, that question. What do they do, competition, that we don't do? And then, you feel real good if you follow that up with like, okay, what do we do that they don't do? And that makes you feel a little bit better, which kind of ties back to question one. But the whole idea is you're trying to understand, is there something that the competitor is doing that you should be doing that you're not doing? And I don't want you to copy it if you're not doing it. I want you to make it your own. Number three, I now want you to look, and I'm going to stop the numbers because it doesn't really matter. The process is ask yourself, what do we do? Ask about the competition. Then is there something we can bake into what the competition is doing into our process and system with our customers? Now I want you to go and look at non-industry competition, not even competition, but just who do you love doing business with outside of your industry? Do you love the grocery store down the street that has the friendliest people? Do you love the shoe repair center? Do you love the, maybe I have this inside sales rep at this manufacturer that sells us our product for whatever we do. And that person does something that's different. Maybe it's, I love Amazon. Boy, does Amazon have a great process. So you sit down with your team and you ask these questions so you understand what it is that other companies are doing outside of your industry that you like. List what it is that they're doing as features that you like. And then you ask yourself, like you do with your competition, what is it, are we doing any of that? And what is it that they're doing that we could be doing? And now you're not really competing, so it doesn't matter if you copy. Bring it into your system. And then finally, when you've gone through that process, come back and ask yourself the same question you started at the beginning. So, and that is, why should someone do business with us? And you're really, what you're trying to do is find different ways of increasing the experience, enhancing the experience, especially from the outside of the industry, because you're trying to decommoditize. And so money becomes a whole lot less relevant when you do something different than everyone else does.
And I think that's really the important point here is, don't copycat, try to find what your value propositions are and emphasize them, and don't say the same thing as everybody else is saying. Oh, well, our people are our greatest service, the type of things that we all hear over and again. And
by the way, Jim, you just did what I did. You took the complicated, which I probably explained it, and you made it simple.
A good combo.
Yeah.
I am still getting closer and closer to my Hyken hairdo. So just watch out for that.
Yeah. You're catching up to me. I'm going to try to stay a step ahead of you. I don't want to tell you how, but I don't know.
We don't need to go there. This one has got to be G-rated. Okay. So Shep, always a good time. How do folks get in touch with you and learn more about I'll Be Back?
Yeah, so I'll Be Back. It's the website for I'll Be Back is actually part of my regular Hyken.com website. But if you go to I'llBeBackBook.com, and there's no apostrophe in a website, so it's ILL, I'llBeBackBook.com. And here's the cool thing. If you buy the book today, even though it doesn't come out for a few months, you will instantly get the ebook, which is available today at no extra charge. So you can start getting your customers to say, I'll be back as soon as possible.
Shep Hyken, thanks for joining us on today's CX Quick Tips and being a regular contributor on CX Global Media. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom, and we wish you the very best.
Thank you. My pleasure.